Are you ready for another haul and upcycle? In my last video, I showed a haul that I received, a jewelry haul from Nancy, and we upcycled some of the pieces that I received into earrings and bracelets. This is part 2 of the upcycle, and this time we're going to upcycle some more of the jewelry that I received, and we might even have a part 3 because there were a lot of beautiful pieces of jewelry in Nancy's haul. Thank you again, Nancy. And check all the comments because there's a lot of comments in that last video thanking you for sending me the haul. If you're new to the channel, I'm Vicki. Welcome to the channel. And if you're coming back, thank you for that too. The channel is growing so fast. It's so exciting. And I just want to let you know that the last video, the first haul from Nancy, hit 6,000 views in less than a week. So thank you. Thumbs up to you. Thank you so much. Let's see if we can top that and hit 7,000 or maybe 8 within a week. What do you think? I can't do it without you. So thank you to all of you. Okay, in this video we're going to make a parure. Do you know what a parure is? I've mentioned it, I think, in at least one other video. It is a set of jewelry. It's a term that you don't hear very often because I guess it's kind of vintage. But a parure consists of a necklace, bracelet, and earrings. Not necessarily in that order, but necklace, bracelet, and earrings. And I think this time we're going to work with fall colors. You know, I had a hard time finding something to wear today in fall colors because, well, it's kind of warm here in Northeast Tennessee. So it was hard to put on anything too heavy. So this is what I ended up with. I need some new clothes. Anyway, we're going to make a parure, and it's a longer video because it takes a while to make a necklace, bracelet, and earrings, but I'm really happy with how it turned out. I know. I already know how it turned out, and you will too by the time we're done with this video. So let's get started. Let's take a look at some of the necklaces we're going to work with today. I have these beautiful crystals, and you know, at first I thought there was only 2 colors here, but we actually have 3 different colors of faceted crystals. Look how many we have to work with here. I'm not sure for sure if I'm going to work with the wood beads, but I did set this aside. And then here are some more 8mm round crystal rondelles in various colors, including clear, and they all have an AB finish, you know, Aurora Borealis finish, and these are knotted. So those might take a little more time to take apart. And this is a necklace that looks like amber, but actually these are vintage plastic beads. So I'm going to be taking those off of this very fine chain because when you look closely, they're just floating on here. So we're going to take that apart. As far as tools, I have round nose pliers, and I have my crimping tool, and I have 2 flat nose pliers. I use those all the time, and I use this all the time, my chain nose pliers. You can see how tapered this is. I have a pair of scissors, some stringing wire. It's 0.018 stringing wire, 49 strand. Have a ruler. A lot of things here. And I'm going to work with a necklace board today, a design board. And I'll probably add something else along the way. You never know. First thing we need to do is take the necklaces apart. And there's so many beads here. I'm sure I'm only going to use a few in this particular necklace and bracelet and earrings, but nonetheless, we're going to take it apart. It looks like it's on wire. Let's just cut it right here underneath the crimp bead. You can hear that sound of glass. You know what? It's actually not on beading wire. It's only on string. I'm really surprised by that because that's a lot of weight to be on string. Very surprised, even if it is double strand. I've never made a necklace on just string. Have you? If you have, leave a comment. I mean, perhaps if you're stringing pearls, you may not have a choice because pearls have such a tiny hole. I'm going to set the clasp aside. And the extension chain, I'll set that aside. This is the only thing, 2 strands of this, that was holding that together. Oh my. Let's set these beautiful crystals aside. I think I'm going to tackle the next easiest one first. Well, I guess because I'm not sure if I'm using the wood beads yet, I guess I'll set this aside for now. This one here I know for sure we're going to take apart. And for this, you know, I'm cutting wire. I guess I will get out my flush cutters. I say wire, I'm actually cutting chain. I'm going to cut it. That's just flattened crimp beads. That's what's holding this in place on this chain. And I'm going to have to cut each section to get these off. I decided it was easier just to go in the middle here than to get right up against the crimp bead. You know, it almost sounds like glass. Let's see if we can tell the difference. I don't know. It doesn't feel cool to the touch. You know, glass feels cool to the touch, and this does not. It's just a nice weight. It's probably lucite, some kind of lucite, which is a type of plastic. But either way, it's nicely weighted. But I do not get that cool to the touch feeling like I did with the glass. Tell you what, I'll just fast forward this to some music while I take this apart.
When I wear my colored glasses, the sun comes shining through. Wearing my rose-colored glasses, the world looks shiny and new. The skies are ever so blue. I'm happy through and through. Wearing my rose-colored glasses, I tell you what I see. You are still here with me.
Here's another way to tell that it's not glass. I can see this little nubby here. I don't know if it's showing up on camera because of the reflection, but there's a little nubby here around where the hole was cut, and that signifies to me plastic, because glass wouldn't have this nubby. So otherwise it's, you know, it's pretty well polished. But that's what we have to work with from this necklace. It looks like faux amber to me, and I think we can work this in. The knotted crystals, I just got this magnifier out. I don't know if this will show up on camera. I'll try to get it to show up. It says Joan Rivers. I'm sure most of us remember Joan Rivers. And I've bought necklaces like this before that they're knotted. A lot of work, but you know, there are people who do this every single day, and that's all they do is knot the beads together. So I need to cut the knot and then release the bead and keep doing that with each one. I'm sure I'm going to have a lot of threads in here. And here's a tip for you. These little embroidery scissors really work great to get up close to the bead and cut the thread. Have a pair of these on hand if you can. I guess you can hold them a couple different ways, but because this is going to take a little bit of time, and I'm not freeing up all of these beads, I most certainly don't need all of them, but I will free some of these up, and instead of having you watch me do this, I'll just cut a few of these apart, and I'll be right back. This should be enough to start, and there are 5 different colors in here. We have a copper, metallic copper. We have a smoke color, smoke brown. We have a nice dark amber brown and a light amber or gold, you could say, and a clear. So 5 different colors to work with. And if I need more, I can always take more off of here, but I'm going to set this aside for now. And this is what we have so far. Beautiful fall colors. Set these aside. We are going to use a beading board or a necklace board in this video. If I can find one similar to this, I'll put a link below the video. That's where you find the links for my tools and supplies anyway, and a link to our eBay store, Avante Avenue. But when you're making a necklace that's more than one strand, I'm out of breath. I ran upstairs to get this. Whew, ran up there real quick. Anyway, a beading board is extremely helpful when you're doing multiple strands. And in this case, we're probably going to do only 2 strands. I could do 3, but I think I'll do 2. That will help me if I put the longest strand here and one inside. We could even do a 3 strand, but I think I'm just only going to do 2. As far as wire, as I said, I've got the 0.01849 strand. We don't need this yet because the first thing we need to do is lay it out. I have no idea. Help me out here. I have no idea how I'm going to do this. Obviously, I just took these apart. Decisions. Let me get this in frame. How's that look? I apologize if it's a little bit crooked. I'm doing my best here. I do believe I'm going to make these my focal point. So I'm going to make these the longest part of the necklace. And as I said, I have 3 colors here. So I pretty much can follow. I have all 3 colors out? It's a good question. No, I did not. See? These 2 looked so much alike at first. So let's put the more golden amber in between. And I'm just going to repeat this pattern for now. No, I didn't do that. See, there we go. I want the amber in between. and then the dark. I guess I want an amber in between every single one. So the dark brown, the amber, the light brown with an amber in between. I'm going to repeat the same thing on the other side, going at every 1 inch mark. Okay, so I ended up at 7 and 7. So just checking the colors. I do have an amber on either side here, and I'm okay with that. However, I'm not 100% positive if I'm going to leave it at just beads here. And I say that because I pulled out something else out of my stash. Check out this beautiful tiger's eye. I hope that's showing up. Make sure my lights are shining everywhere they're supposed to be shining. But look at that. Beautiful tiger's eye. It already has the bell on it. I'm thinking this could make a beautiful pendant, but it doesn't mean I don't need beads around it. So if I take 2 of these and put one on either side like this, that could possibly work. It's a definite maybe, as my husband Mark would say. And I'm not sure that I'm going to go all the way around the neckline with these beads. I might do something else around the neckline. But I guess with that said, I could go up to 8 here. And this has little seed beads, tiny little seed beads that were in between these, but I'm not sure that I want to add those. So I'm going to set this aside for a minute and see what else we can work in, which, would be something over here. I have the small crystal rondelles and I have the faux amber. Oh gosh, what am I going to do? I tend to think that if I'm going to incorporate these, I should put them on the longest part of the necklace and get smaller towards the inside. So even though I put these 1 inch apart, I might end up changing that. Might be time to just start moving the beads along now. And these are different shapes. So let's just play around here. Don't worry about the 1 inch difference anymore. I just wanted the beads. In fact, I'm just going to go ahead and push these up and then pull them back in as I need them. So I have kind of dark and dark here. So I want to lighten that up, and I can either do it with a light amber bead, another crystal, or I can bring in some of the smaller 8mm beads. I said I have like 5 different colors of these, and I'm not even sure I want to work the clear in copper metallic. That looks kind of nice in the middle. And I kind of like 3. Maybe that's doable. Let's go with the amber, copper, and the smoke is what I have here. Amber, copper, smoke. I do have the dark amber, but I'm kind of getting that already in this bead right here. Let's focus on 1/2. And if we like 1/2, then we'll duplicate it on the other half. How's that? Let's move this up a little more. So I'm going to move this out of my way just so I focus on 1/2. And of course, these beads look like they're taking up a lot of room right now, but that's not necessarily going to be the case when I string it. So I'll probably have to add some more beads. But let's duplicate this pattern right here.
When I'm feeling lonely, I'm putting my glasses on. Whenever I'm sad, I'll...
And then duplicate this right here. Okay, that side's coming along. I think I'm going to like it. I have the larger pendant here, and then I have this larger bead, goes smaller, then larger, then smaller. Yeah, let's just build this on the right side. I already had this. That part, and then the amber. And then I need to repeat this pattern.
Chasing the clouds away, I just can't stand the rain. I was lost for a while, but I found me a better way.
Just looking back and forth to see how my pattern's falling. I'm going to bring this down. Okay, this is what I still have on each side. If I do an 18-inch necklace, 9 and 9 is 18 right there. 9 to 9 is 18 inches. Probably go longer because it's a pendant, but I'm still debating on whether I want to add something else around the neckline, like maybe even these light beads around the neckline. I'm not sure. I don't know if I want to change it that much around the neck. And the thing with the wood beads is they do have larger holes, and they don't always stack really straight. They're kind of irregular. So I wanted to work it in, but I'm not sure. Now that we're getting around the neckline, we could actually go smaller with the beads. But I could keep just a little bit here. Let's see. Now this is where we've ended. To follow the pattern, after this bead would be 3 of these. 3 of the amber, copper, and excuse me for reaching in front of you. Then that. I guess it's actually due for one of these. But I'm feeling like that's getting pretty large on either side of the neckline. So I'm not sure about that. For now, I'm going to stop here. I just noticed I have a different bead here. I better check and make sure. I've got a couple of different beads in here. Okay, I'm going to set these aside to save confusion. This is the longest length of the necklace, subject to change. I haven't put any spacer beads in between. I could. I don't know how many of these I have. I like these better than the little seed beads. I've got all of them. I don't think I have enough of these, other than maybe I could put one on each end here. Yeah, let's do that. And I do have some more left here. I'm keeping the larger beads here because of the large bail, but it doesn't mean it has to be that color. Experiment here. I'm just wondering which color I would like best right up at the pendant. I guess either one goes nice. Stay with the dark and think about, can we work in any more of these? Probably can. I think we can work them in here and here. It's very easy to get these out of order, like that bead I just moved right there. Yeah, that needs to be there. I picked it up, then I had to think about where I was putting it. How many do I have left? I have 4 left. I might save those. I might work them into the earrings. So, make sure. You know, I have this bead here. Oh, I need one of these here and here. How did I miss that? Did I miss any others? Can you see any others that I've missed? Help me out here. Might be a little late. You know, when I'm making videos, all of you know by now, sometimes there's a lot going on in my head and I miss things. Eventually I catch it, hopefully before the video's over, but sometimes not. It's just the way it goes, you know. A lot going on when you're videoing and talking and designing all at the same time. So I ask for you to forgive me when I make a mistake. Mistakes happen. Okay, I like it. It's colorful. But let's work on the second strand. The necklace is coming along. I'm really happy with the colors so far. Got a variety of beads and textures and colors. And yeah, I like it. I could probably stop right here. But, you know, I said I was going to make a multi-strand necklace. So let's move on to strand number 2 and see what we can come up with. I hope I have enough beads. I mean, it looks like I have a lot of beads, right? But we'll see. Time to tackle the inside strand. I don't want it to be too busy, and I might need to cut apart some more of these. But let's go ahead and just start laying out some crystals. I don't know if I should work in the clear or not. I mean, I have them, and I have to decide what color I want in the center. Let's put the copper in the center. I don't know. You know, the clear introduces a whole nother direction, but it does add a lot of sparkle. Lightens and brightens things up a little bit. So I guess I'll just continue with this pattern and then decide if I have anything I can fit in between it. I don't want it to get very large. I'm going to continue to the left and just repeat the pattern around to the left. And I can tell already I need to free up some more beads. But I'll put as many as I can. Let me check it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I'm getting soft-spoken, it's just because I'm focused. Looks pretty. I need to take some more beads off of here, and I'm just going to do that off camera, so I'll be right back. You know how I do it. I just cut them apart. I have a few more available here. I was adding some to the board when I remembered I needed to turn the camera back on. So I'm just following the pattern, trying to bring this up to the same length as the outer strand. And honestly, I'm thinking that maybe I don't want the strands to be that close together. Maybe I want a little more separation. Kind of thinking about moving this in a little bit. I don't know. I guess I'll have to see it. But let me finish this pattern here. I think I've got it. I'm just going to build it the other direction now. And I'll play some music for this. A little harder in reverse.
What's the angle
Oh, I need some more beads again. Be right back. I freed up some more of the 8mm beads, crystal rondelles, and we'll see what we can do with those for the second strand, the next layer in. Oh, and there's something I wanted to mention to you. My birthday is in September, coming up next week, and I decided to put all of our Avante jewelry on sale in our eBay store, Avante Avenue. As I said earlier in the video, you find the link below the video if you're on an iPad or smartphone or desktop, not on YouTube, but you'll find a link to the store, Avante Avenue. It takes you directly to our jewelry. And I'm putting a sale on, so if there's some things you've had your eyes on, but you haven't purchased anything and you'd like to, I'm going to have a 25% sale starting at the time this video is released through my birthday, September 14th, 2025. So if you'd like to have some of our handmade jewelry and help me clear out some jewelry so I can make some more this next year, well, 25% off from September 9th through September 14th, 2025. All right, back to the video. This is what we have so far. And of course, it's going to change slightly when it's actually on bead stringing wire. And I'm still back and forth whether I want to separate the strand a little more or make 3 strands. I don't think I've ever made a 3-strand necklace on this channel. Maybe that's what we should do. Goodness, goodness. Do I really want just crystal rondelles in the center, or do I want to add something else to it? Since I haven't strung it on the wire yet, and I don't really know how these are going to fall, I do think it's a little bit hard to tell whether I want to add any more beads in here, like, some of these, or, some of these. Although, I could focus on some of these. And what color would I add? The darker brown, the amber. In other words, in place of some of the amber in here, do I want to add, what am I looking at here? I did the pattern all the way around this way. I didn't pick a focal point and then do the pattern. So now that I'm looking at this, I'm thinking that maybe I should have started the pattern from here to here and not here and then here. When it's said and done on here, I've got it exactly the same, but that's not the case with this row right here. It's just the way I built the pattern. I can fix that. I can come back down to here so that I have the pattern identical and decide how I want to do this. If I want to do a dark amber on either side and a light amber and maybe a clear in the center. I just didn't have a good center focal point by the way I built that pattern. This gives it a stronger presence here. However, I could add something like this to the center here and put a clear. Oh, I know what I could do. I have a couple of these left. Pick up that pattern right here, these little discs. I also feel like then I need the gold getting out of alignment slightly. I kind of like that. Just going to push these down a little bit. I hope you can see what I've done here. I just picked up one of these beads and made it a focal point in the second row. I still have 2 of these left. I guess I could put them in some earrings. That's all I have, though, of those. I'm debating on making some of these a focal point in the inside strand on occasion, like every place that I have a light amber or I have the dark amber, maybe replacing it with one of these beads. I'll show you here, just to add some variation to the beads. And I'm thinking I have so many of the amber, I'm going to do that. May not be easy to do, but wherever I have an amber, I'm going to run out of room here. I'm going to have to remove a couple more beads at the end. I need to push these down. Maybe I'll just work backwards. Wherever I have, something's off with my pattern here. So let's go from here. Double check it. And I really have to focus for this. You can see how tedious this is. It's fun, but it takes a lot of focus, replacing all the light amber with the larger bead. Wow. I'm not kidding when I say this is tedious to get the pattern exactly right. I think I've got it, but I'm going to off camera so I can really focus. Off camera, I'm going to double check it and I'll be right back. I think I've got it. I hope I've got it. I think I'm ready to start stringing this. I hope you see here some of the time and focus that it takes to come up with a design and how helpful the beadboard is. Although I'm accustomed to just stringing necklaces just right on my table, when you're doing more than one strand, it does help to have a bead board. And I'll try to find one similar to this and put it in a link below the video like I do my tools and other supplies and bead stringing wire. If you're still with me and you're enjoying this video, I appreciate a thumbs up. Be sure to like and comment, and if you haven't done so, please subscribe and keep watching. There's more. Got a ruler, and I think I'm going to try to make this necklace. Oh, I'm thinking instead of 18, it's got a pendant. I might go for about 20 inches long. So I've got 12, and 12 is 24. So that should be enough for a 20-inch long necklace. The pendant just has this bail on it, and I really can't do much about it. I checked my other pendants, and I wasn't really liking what I had available for this, so I'm just going with what came with this, and I'm going to just add one bead to each side, and I intentionally chose larger beads on each side. Oh, you know what? You know how I said I had some different beads? This one has, no, I'm getting like an AB finish off of it, but I'm not getting the AB finish off of both of them. I don't know what's going on with those. I don't know how to show you other than, can you see the purple reflection here? And do you see that this one doesn't have the purple reflection? So I have some beads that have an AB finish, an AB coating on one side. And I didn't know that at first, and this one doesn't. So I'm going to have to be careful here. Like here's, I'll show you a couple of together. Those are AB finish, and these are not. I don't know how many have it versus not. As I'm looking over here in my bowl, I'm picking up on it because I see the purple reflection. Did you catch that earlier in the video, that some of these had a little purple reflection to it? Or is it maybe just all of them have one side coated, all of this color, and I'm just not seeing it? And some of them really have it at the end. That's one way to tell. While some of them don't have it at the end. I mean, they definitely are pretty. I just don't know how many I have versus not. Those have the finish. How many slipped in here? These do not have the AB finish. I don't know that I want to bring the purple color into this. So I guess I'm going to try not to use them. I'm going to try to make sure I just have the basic taupe. Give me a second here while I separate these colors in case I need to get into this. Just had no idea initially that I had all of these with the AB purple finish. I just want to make sure I don't have those in this part of the necklace. Okay, let's try this again. Let's just go with the basic dark brown versus the lighter taupe brown and make sure they're alike. See, I need these to go up against here, but it's really falling at the top of it. I'd like to have a bead that goes through the center. The thing with these pendants is that if I take the bail off, I still need a jump ring. Doesn't have to be a large jump ring, but I need a jump ring nonetheless because of the direction. All right, I'm not liking this, so I'm going to remove that bail and just add a very small jump ring in between here. That's what I'm going to do. And because this is so thick, I'm going to try my memory wire cutters over my trash can. Be right back. It worked. It cut it. Just need to remove it. Thrown that away. Now I need a small jump ring. I do need to point out that this finish on here is a cross between a silver and a coppery finish. It's actually probably silver plated over copper. And so it has a variety of colors on this. This is how it came. I bought some of these at a bead and gem show. It is what it is. I polished it up as much as I could. And this is one of the smaller but heavier jump rings that I have. Let's see how this is going to work. I need to probably find some more bails that I can work with. I don't really have a lot of styles. See, that brings it right up against here, and it's about the best I can do because it needs to have some separation from the beads. Okay, we're going with this. Again, I'm going to move some things on my table. Hope nothing falls off on the other end so that you can see me stringing this. And keep an eye on my pattern for me, please, and make sure I don't miss anything. I tend to like to string both sides at the same time. So I just, pick up a rondelle and pick up a rondelle. This way I know they're both the same color. And I'm not putting a bunch of spacer beads in this. This is going to be mostly just, bead on bead without spacers. I will play some music while I string some of this, and then I'll check in with you from time to time. This mat has a lot of wear, but I think it will show up better for you if I'm stringing against the lighter background. Let's see if I can carefully put this under here. I need to buy some new ones. I just want you to be able to see what I'm doing. I need to make some adjustments so you can see better. All right, that's going to be much better. You just have to trust that I'm pulling from the board, the bead board in order. I have to trust that I'm pulling from the bead board in order. Who am I talking to? Oh my gosh. Oh, where am I? This is what we have so far. How's that? Bringing both strands back together so that I can strand each one at the same time. Let's take another look. This is what we have. It's looking pretty. I just discovered that I have two different colors here. I'm supposed to have this brown, and instead I have two different colors here. I believe I'm supposed to have the taupey green here. Make sure in the lighting that they match. And it, I was calling it taupe all along, but it does have a green cast to it, and that's okay. It's all right with me. There's a song that I play once in a while on this channel called That's All Right. Maybe that's the song I should be playing right now. Looking good. Who knew, right? And it really is helpful to string these both sides at the same time.
The sky is blue, the sun is high. Sitting here on my own.
Will that drive you crazy if it's upside down right now? Just bringing the string around.
To me, that's alright. Green grass on my neighbor's lawn. Maybe I should take a stroll. And to me, that's all.
Are these the same color or different colors? That has the purple. I'm going to set that aside. And then we have two different colors here. We have the brown, and then we have this green taupe. What color should I be doing next? I'm going to go with the brown because I had brown here and then the taupey green, so I'm going to go with the brown. As long as it doesn't have that purplish AB finish. I have really, really good lighting when I'm working here, but it still is hard sometimes to see. I think I'm good. I've got my brown. Brown, greenish, taupe, and brown.
That's just what I will do. I'm telling you.
Okay, that's all the beads that I had laid out for the first part of the necklace. Trying to get this here, and I'm going to put a clip on the end. Push the beads down. Two clips on here. Let's check the length. And the length goes from the clasp to the inside. So right now, this is 8.5. So we really have 17 inches plus, say, half, 3/4 for the clasp. We're barely an 18-inch necklace. So that just shows you that laying them out on the bead board is different from when you actually string the necklace. So I can go longer with this. And if we do that and we pick up the pattern that we've been doing, I don't want to put these large beads around the neck. So I could just finish out with small crystals at this point and save these more unique beads for perhaps a bracelet or something. So let's just add some more. I did not put the clear in this at all, but I actually really like it. I think it's really pretty. So I'm not going to introduce the clear at this point, but I can repeat. I can go with the dark amber and then the copper and then the taupe and the light amber. That's how I could kind of finish it off. Let's try that. Do that over here. I went with the
sky is blue, the sun is high. I'm sitting here on my own. I think of you.
We got 9.25. That's 18.5. Let's say the clasp is 1/2 inch. That would be a 19-inch necklace. I'm going to stop here for now before I go all the way out to 20. I still have some wire left, so I can go longer, but I'm going to stop here. And I'm kind of hesitant to put this back on the board right now because I don't want to knock these beads off. So I have the clips on here. I'm just going to set this to the side here. To me, it's a beautiful necklace just like it is. I wouldn't have to do anything else to it, but I'm going to attempt to make a 2-strand necklace. I need some more wire, so I have a ruler here. If this is going for 19 or 20, and I need an inch difference, so let's say I take this out to 20 and we make this 19. So if I need 19 and I want to add a couple of inches, say 3 inches, 19, 20, 21, so 12. 12 and 8 is 20, and I'm going to add just another inch to be safe. So I'm going for about 21 inches. I may not have measured that exactly like you would have, but the end result is the same. We've got enough to make a 19-inch necklace. Let's start in the center of our beadboard. Let's bring this back in. I'm going to keep this to the side now. And starting with our center faux amber. And this is repeating the same pattern from here, where I have these little dark amber discs on either side along with the gold bead. So this would be our center part here for the necklace. I think that's doable because we have it here and here, and everything at this point can still be changed. We're not locked into anything. We haven't added the clasp. Bringing the ends together, and I'm just going to start picking up these beads, and I have a clear bead that jumped out of where it should be. Get back in there. I'm going to double check my pattern, but I am going to continue to add one bead to each side of the wire at a time so that I can make sure my pattern is the same. So if I make a mistake, well, I made the mistake the same on each side. How's that? And I'll play some music.
If only I could finish something, run straight through to the end, close a chapter dignified. Dang girl, you did it again.
Let's take a look at this pattern on the inside for the inside of this. You know, it almost looks like these two amber beads are going to fall side by side. And I'm not sure that's so bad because I don't know that I want it that close. I don't know how much separation is good. I'm going to keep going with it. If your wire gets a little crazy on you, just drop it and pick it up again. And it really is working out great, picking up 2 beads at a time, a lot faster, even though sometimes I drop them. Okay, that didn't take too long. Let's go ahead and put some clips on here. So this is what we have from the pendant to the 2 strand, and they are very close together, and I just don't know. I want to see what it looks like if I pull them up just a little bit. I like that separation to it personally. I do. Now I only put this one here. I didn't put any others. I have more of those left. You know, this says I've got 10 and 10 or 20-inch necklace here, which I did add on to it. Still have the clasp to go, but this is not at 20 inches. So we need to add a few more beads here, some of the 8mm rondelles. And it looks like my pattern goes to copper, copper clear, amber, and then taupe. A dark amber, then taupe. It's a pretty good match, wouldn't you say? Because I may not have the beads. That might be too much now, because it just went past. What I want to do is line these up. So let's add a few beads here. Copper, clear, and the dark amber. And then call it for this side. Pushing the beads down. And these are just adding some busyness to everything. So let's take these out of here. Now that I've separated out all the ones that have the AB finish versus the other. I don't know about you, but I like it. I like it. I will take a minute off camera and just double check everything one more time. I don't want to take up your time doing that. I think I'm pretty close here. Although it looks like I could probably, as I'm pushing this better into the slot, I could probably back off another bead on each side. Maybe all the way down to the clear. Well, just one bead, I guess, per side. Looks a little better. Oh, goodness. Are we ready to finish off this 2-strand necklace? But as I said, the first thing I'm going to do, the necklace is pretty much done other than the clasp. But I'm going to check it. Not once, but twice, but 3 times. I'm going to look this over and make sure that everything is where it's supposed to be, that every bead is where it should be. Should be or should bead. You know what I mean. I'm going to do that off camera, and I'll be right back. Now, what kind of clasp are we going to use? Any thoughts? I have the original clasp, little lobster clasp with the jump ring, and do you see this here? Little tiny clamshell well, maybe we can reuse this. If the string isn't glued in here, I'm just going to try to get my thumbnail between here. Getting it. Opening up the little clamshell. Got the string, the knotted string, all that weight relying on that one little string. So we freed that up, and then on the extension chain we've got another little clamshell. So let's go ahead and open this up. I mean, I have clamshells, but I just want to show you that sometimes you can reuse them. Get that thread out of here, that knot. I do need some crimp beads though, so I'll be right back. We still have some decisions to make on this. You know, I have a couple little crimp beads, but I'm thinking about bringing these two wires together and going through the same crimp bead. At least that's what I would like to try to make work. I'm not sure how that's going to do with these beads being 8mm rounds, so for that reason I think I'm going to add a little small round gold bead on the end of each one of these. Let's just see, go through the back of the clamshell, the hole. There's a little hole back there. Then through the crimp bead. I think there's just going to be a little gap here. I don't think there's any way around it. Not unusual, and it is at the back of the neck, but if I want to put these through the same clamshell instead of having more than one clamshell, that's what I need to do. It's a little hard to tell now how things are going to lay, but it should lay pretty close to what I had on the beadboard. It's just that it's going to come together here. I'm going to go with this. I have some leeway here. I don't have to push these beads all the way down on the first one. I just need to have my wires side by side, if I can, not crossed over each other. I've got the inside, and then I'm going to flatten this. I'm flattening the crimp bead. If you don't know what I'm doing, get a hold of that crimp bead, side it down some, and flatten it. Not crimping it, flattening it, because it's a bead, not a tube. I need to cut it off, need to trim it. Bring the clamshell up around it and close it up. I'm going to use my thumb and finger, and then just give it a little press. This is the left side of the necklace. I typically put the clasp on the right, only because more people are right-handed than left-handed. At least that's what the studies seem to say. I'm going to go ahead and take off the extension chain over here, finding the cut in the jump ring. There it is. It's on the side. I'm going to take this clamshell off and save it for there. And just take the original jump ring and put it through the loop on the clamshell. Just reusing it. I think it's pretty amazing, you know, myself, to reuse a clamshell. You don't want to overwork it. It's only been used once. This is the second time. And I was very gentle with it. So now that we have the extension chain on here, we can just push the beads down. Just push all the beads down. Pushing the beads down and around. It's so important. I can't say enough about how important it is to make sure the beads are pushed down. So over here, I need to do the same thing. I know now this beadboard might be getting a little busy, so let's take this off of here. Set that aside. It's been a long time since I made a 2-strand necklace. Okay, let's get this lined up again. Inside versus outside. Let's add our little round bead to each of these. And I guess the length is going to be what it is. What it is, it is. It's going to be somewhere between 19 and 20. We'll see here. Again, I moved this around. I flipped it over. So therefore my beads have moved. They've shifted. Or did you see that when it moved? You know, they were kind of like this, and I went like that. Thought I was recording, and I wasn't. I'm ready to do the other side, and I have the wires side by side, and I have the clamshell on here, and I just added the crimp bead, and I looked up and I'm like, oh great, I'm not recording. Oh well, I am now. Didn't do too much. You didn't miss anything. I was saying that you want a little flexibility, but at the same time you don't want a huge gap here. You're going to have a little bit of a gap, but I'm just checking which wire is my left wire and trying to get that in my hand. Now you can open up the clamshell a little wider if you need to for this part. I'm looking for these, my chain nose pliers. You want to make sure the clamshell is as far down in there as you can get it. I'm pushing the clamshell down. My wire seems to be down and I'm flattening it. Check it. It's good. This is what we've got. No turning back now. Let's cut these wires and close up the clamshell around the crimp bead. If you need to, use your pliers lightly. Adjust it just a little bit lightly. And then we have our jump ring. I'm just recycling. You know, I said I wanted a clasp on the right. I must have had this upside down. Well, guess what? The clasp is on the left. That is so funny. Oh, wow. Good intentions, you know. Doesn't matter. I've seen them both ways, but I did think I must have had my pendant upside down and didn't realize it. Had something twisted. Not everything goes perfectly. What fun would that be anyway? Oh my gosh. Okay, let's make sure. Let's make sure. Wait a minute. Look, I do have the clasp on the right. This is the front. It's just flipped over on itself. We did it. We have a beautiful 2-strand necklace made from 2 of the necklaces that Nancy sent me. And I love it. The only thing I added was the tiger's eye pendant. Otherwise, everything that I used today was directly from the necklaces that she gifted me. Oh my gosh. What do you think about that? Even the clasp, even the clamshell components all came from one of the original necklaces. I guess we can check the necklace off our list and move on to making... Let's make some earrings to go with the necklace. It should be pretty easy, and I still have quite a few beads left to work with. So let's do it. Remember I saved these 2 little gold beads? Well, that's because I wanted them for the earrings. Not that I don't have gold beads. I do. These are the ones with the AB finish, so we're not going to work those in at this point. But I'm leaning towards the dark amber, although I don't know, maybe the brown. And the reason I say that is because I have these little beads. I also have some of these, and I do want to work some of these into a bracelet. What would you use for the earrings? Would you make earrings with those? Decisions. That's pretty much what I have to work with. And I have some seed beads here too. I guess I also have the rondelles. Let me think on it a minute and I'll be right back. I have 2 2-inch gold head pins. I am going to put a small round bead at the bottom. Let's try 2 different styles. This here or the crystal. I mean, I did make this a focal point right there, didn't I? And it pulls out the light colors in the tiger's eye. So that's one idea. Or, let's see here. There's not a lot of copper in this. That's just going dark on dark. I do have these little yellow beads here that I didn't use anywhere, but I most certainly could use them here. I'm thinking that Nancy doesn't wear really large earrings, so kind of leaning towards a smaller earring. Maybe I can pick up the yellow with this little bead. I gave it away, didn't I? By saying what type of earrings I think Nancy wears. Yes, I'm gifting this entire parure set to Nancy. I don't normally talk about it, but when someone sends me a haul, I always send a thank you. I had someone ask me the other day, and it's not something I've talked about because I consider it personal and private, and it's a gift. When someone gifts something to me, I give something back. So that's why I said about Nancy wearing smaller earrings. She's a petite lady. She sent me a photo one time. I think I showed it in a video where she was wearing something she bought from me. Okay, back to the earrings. I think that amber is too dark, and Yes, I do have the clear on the inside. I could bring that in kind of like that. I'm not sure I'm liking that yellow bead at the bottom here, but I am liking the rest of this. Okay, back to my little gold bead at the bottom. I'm just adding the clear to tie things together. What if I put the little yellow bead on top? There, that brings all the colors together. I think that's going to be the earring. After trying this and trying that, this is what I came up with. I've got some gold plated ear wires, pushing the beads down, bending it at a right angle. This is where we need our round nose pliers, and mine do have cutters on them, cutting it down to about 3/8 of an inch. The wire is flush with the edge of my round nose pliers. Make my loop, close my loop, do the same thing here, push the beads down, bend it at a right angle, about 3/8 of an inch. Straighten it up if you need to. You can either open up the loop sideways on the head pin that you used or the ear wire. Either way, just open it up sideways, close it up. Who doesn't love to make earrings, right? They're so quick and easy. Compared to the necklace, the earrings are so quick and easy. So here's our earrings. Now let's take what we have left and come up with a bracelet. And I still have these left too. And I'm not going to incorporate the ones with the AB finish because I didn't use them in the necklace. I think the bracelet's possibly going to be a single strand bracelet. Time to make a bracelet. And speaking of bracelets, here's some that I've made. I really like bracelets, and all of these are memory wire bracelets. And I did make the earrings recently, these little gold leaf earrings. And those came from the haul, from Nancy, the last video. I really like the leaves. So anyway, let's make a bracelet. I know you probably think it would be nice if I made a 2-strand bracelet, but to tell you the truth, I'm not sure that's going to happen. I think we're going to make a single strand bracelet. The thing is, I was looking for a tiger's eye with 2 holes. I thought I had some. I thought I could make this really cool bracelet, but I don't. I can't, at least I can't find it if I do. So I'm just going to make a single strand. This is what we have left to work with, and that gives us plenty of beads. Of course, I'll try to use the chunkier beads first and foremost, so that's what we're going to start with. Let's use some more of our bead stringing wire. I mean, the bracelet doesn't need to be very long, probably about, 7 inches, I guess. Just get about, let's do 9.5. Doesn't look very long. After making the necklace, it looks really short. Let's put a clip on the end. And keeping the pattern in mind from the necklace, I think I'm going to make one of these the focal point, although I'm going to put a little disc on each end. I don't know why I put the clip on here because I'm going to build each side at the same time. We have 2 of these little gold beads left. And if my voice sounds a little different, it actually sounds a little hoarse, I think. Well, I took a break and I guess my voice didn't rest up as much as it should have. Okay, let's go with this long amber looking piece. Although I don't want to get, too long on top. We better check this before we go much further because we only have the top. Can I do this without dropping it? Do you see how those are falling? I guess I'm going to go with it. I wish they were slightly smaller, but I'm going to go with it. So now let's start into, you know what? This might be a good time to incorporate these little yellow beads here. Just for little spacers. We have them in the earrings. And then some of the amber. Be careful not to use those because I didn't use them at all. I'll use them some other time. Let's put a little, see if we can work in some other crystals here. Although I probably need to cut more because I don't even have any copper in here. So give me just a minute. You know the routine. I'll take a few off of here and be right back. Okay, I have a few different colors here that I can work with. I think I'll start with the copper, one on each side. And then, we could go right to small beads from there because I don't really need a whole lot of beads. It's already at 4.5 inches. And I don't have any clear in here, so I guess I have to work in a couple of clear. just to make sure everything that I've made has a clear bead in it. And then how about the dark amber? And then this brown. Where are we? 6 1/4. We still have the clasp to add. I don't have much more that I can add. Hint of yellow again. And let's finish off with a light amber. Hopefully I haven't gone too far. Okay, it's at 7. Let's check it with this and see what we've got. When you put it in the round, it's about almost 6. I'm thinking I should stop there. But when I check it on a cone and try to bring this together, which is always a little bit awkward, it allows me about a 1/2 inch. I think it's going to end up being 7 1/2 inches. I'll put a link below for this bracelet board. It's bamboo. I really like it, but I also use a bracelet cone, and I'll put a link for that too. I think I'm going to back off a bead. I think I'm going to take this larger bead off of each end. Even though I have it in everything else, I'm going to take that off, that larger bead. I guess the reason I didn't put one of these in the center and 2 of those is that it's the angle of it. And it does look like I could possibly go smaller, although this one goes really light. That one's a little bit large. That one's a little bit large. Okay, I'm going to change this one out to slightly smaller. And then I have to decide if I want to taper away from the wrist, which I think I've done. I don't know if you can see how that tapers. So let's pick up this pattern again. That is a lot closer to 6. It's like 6 1/8. I'm going to go with that. I am going to add a small round bead on each end, and we have to figure out what kind of clasp we're using. Probably just a lobster clasp. Would have been pretty though to have a 2-strand bracelet. I just don't have the right components to do that. You know, no matter how many beads and findings I have, sometimes I don't have everything that I'd like to have. I need a clasp. Remember this chain? Well, I have a lobster clasp on here. So I'm going to take this off and see about reusing this. Upcycling it, as we say. And there's the cut in the jump ring. It took me a second to find it. I also have another clamshell here. And then I have this lobster clasp from the upcycle I did last weekend, plus some extension chain, if you recall this necklace. So I'm going to take the extension chain off of here. I'm going to upcycle everything I can. Add this extension chain here. We don't need it this long. That's more so for a necklace, so I can shorten that up. But let's see, if we want to add the lobster clasp, and I've got a clamshell here. I don't think I have any other clamshells left. I've got a couple of clamshells from my own bead stash so that I could have 2 alike. And I need a couple of crimp beads. Oh, and you know, I put all different sizes in here together. I don't really want to do that anymore. I suggest that you don't do that. There, that should work though. Let's finish off this end. Let's go through the back of the hole on the clamshell. Pick up a crimp bead. And as you know, because this is the first one we're doing, we can just, pretty much flatten this anywhere we want. I'm just going to bring it all the way to the edge so I don't have to cut it. Center it up on the wire and flatten it. Test it. It's good. Bring the clamshell up over top of it. Slide that little crimp bead inside and close that up. And then we can add a jump ring and the lobster clasp. Close that up, give it a pinch, and we've got the lobster clasp attached. Let's push the beads down. Take off the clip. Go through the back side, bottom side of the clamshell. Slip the crimp bead inside. Let that slide down. Needs a little flexibility, but at the same time, we don't want this too exposed. I mean, it's our last chance. Did I make any mistakes? I could have put that clear anywhere, but I put it where I put it. Find that crimp bead inside, and you can open up the clamshell a little further if you want. I'm going to hold it with my left hand and get maybe I'm going to get a hold of the crimp bead. Well, I'm pushing it down inside the clamshell. And see, it just got away from me. Pushing the crimp bead down inside. Yep, I am. I really am. Down inside. Flatten it. Check it. It's good. Trim it as close as you can to the top of the crimp bead because you don't want it to stick out. It's spinning on me a little bit, and probably my smaller scissors would help, but part of the idea behind the clamshell is to not have any crimp bead or wire exposed. There, trimmed it back a little bit. Close this up. Mine happened to close pretty easy. Pretty easy. Take the jump ring, 2 pairs of pliers, open that up, put it through both holes of the clamshell, both holes, close it up, and let's see what it is. Let's see what size it is without the extension chain. Now it looks tiny. Wouldn't you know it? It looks really tiny. It's 6 3/4. Okay, 6 3/4. And the extension chain, which I'm going to cut some of that off. I just think it's way too long. Cut the extension chain. I could open it up, but I'm just going to allow about an inch. Okay, 1.5 inches since I made it a little bit small. I'm going to cut the wire here because it's just easier sometimes. I am going to take this little ball at the end and add that back on. It has a little jump ring, and it will look nice to finish it off. Or you could add a bead, taking that chain off. This is a very tiny jump ring. It's the little things that can get you. That last link in there. Let's see if I can see it. I can't even hardly see it, so I sure don't expect you to be able to see it. But we've got it. We've got our little extension chain. There's the bracelet. Let's take a closer look at everything. I'm really happy with how it turned out. It's been a long, long time since I made a 2-strand necklace, and I think it would have been really pretty as a 3-strand necklace too. But there's the bracelet and the earrings, and look at that pendant, that tiger's eye pendant. I'm so happy with it, and looking at it, you would never know that I mixed in a little bit of vintage plastic beads in there. Plastic, resin, acrylic, whatever you want to call it. I think it looks just gorgeous. And I hope you'll leave a comment and let me know what you think about it. You can vote for just the necklace or the earrings or the bracelet or the whole set, the parure. So I really hope you enjoyed this. Here it is. And don't go anywhere. And in the next video, I'm going to be working with the black and silver, and I think I have some white in here, necklaces that were in the same haul from Nancy. Yeah, she sent me so much, and it's all so beautiful. I'm making 3 videos out of it for you. And I'm thinking, oh, I know. There's someone that left a comment. I'll read it to you. How did she say that? Scenaria, I hope I'm saying your name properly. And she went on to say, thank you to Nancy. And you've got a ton to work with, Vicki. I do. I really do have a ton to work with. And she added here, I envision some very dazzling, formal evening bling coming out of the pile of gray, clear, black, and silver. Fancy pants jewelry. Fancy pants. That's what she said. So I'm going to attempt in my next video to make some fancy pants jewelry. And maybe I'll even try to dress up for it. Who knows? And thank you so much, Nancy. The second video and the third one to come would not have happened without your thoughtfulness and generosity. Remember the 25% off sale from September 9th through September 14th, my birthday, the 14th. Remember the sale on eBay, 25% off your purchase of Avante jewelry. Thanks, everyone. I'll see you in the next video.
The sky is blue, the sun is high. Sitting here on my own, I think of you, you're on my mind, you know. To me